Hello, my name is Stefan de Beer. I'm based at the University of Pretoria.
Hi, my name is Rihanna Valley, and I too am based at the University of Pretoria, and we are the editors of the latest volume on homelessness, titled Facing Homelessness, Finding Inclusionary Collaborative Solutions. Stefan?
Yeah, and in this book, we hope that this book can contribute in some way to knowledge on street homelessness in South Africa, debunking myths, but also tracing some of the causes and the faces of street homelessness. And it really wants to contribute, or it proposes solution-based approaches. We think there are ways of ending homelessness for many people, and that's what we try to trace in the book. Rihanna, what do you think? Is that?
Yes. I think this is a book that is not only about academic research, but it is about what happens in the social world. And here we are talking about how do people on the street live? What do they do? How are they trying their very best to be part of that social world? And I think this book looks at those things that are seen as a given in life. Health, for example, the right to a home, for example. So we've got a whole range of researchers that have contributed writings on. It is an ethnography, if we like. It is an ethnography because these are researchers that have gone in and worked with homeless people, and they come in and they tell us about how homeless people survive in this harsh world. So it is not only about seeing homeless people as those marginalized individuals, but it is seeing homeless people as whole persons, as people trying to find their way into the social world, out of the social precariousness, etc. Stefan?
Yeah, I think what you're saying, so it wanted to bring the people who contributed come from different disciplines, but also work as activists, practitioners, all contributing to making a scholarly contribution from their different fields. And I think that's one of the real gifts of the book, potentially. And the research agenda, I think, behind it, or the scholarly agenda, is we hope that it can contribute to policy and to practices that can actually end homelessness for many people. There's a policy vacuum in South Africa around homelessness, and we think this volume could help contribute to that. One chapter, for example, focuses on smaller cities. And we have a real sense that in smaller cities, if we do some of the right things, we can actually go far to ending homelessness. And many of the other chapters from different angles do the same. If you have to recommend why people should read it, Rihanna, what would be your biggest reason for people to read it?
You know, that's a very big question, Stefan. I think the interest of the book lies in the way in which us as editors and the contributors to the book have tried very hard to get whosoever reads this book to get an awareness around homelessness. And I think the biggest reason why one should read the book is to help us to systematically think about homelessness and create awareness around homelessness, because one of the things that we had to think about was that we needed to bring what we considered to be the marginalized, invisible people into our hearts and our homes. And in that way, we talked about, when we face homelessness, we also have to face ourselves, and if we can create that kind of an awareness, then we are aware that it would not just be an academic project, but rather the eradication of homelessness would be one that is socially, morally, and humanistically anchored in our being. Stefan?
Absolutely. And so that's a theme that I think runs through it, that we easily as a society blame homeless people for being homeless, and we are trying to argue that homelessness is also saying something about our own political, moral, institutional and personal failure, and that there's also obligations that we have as a society and institutions and personally, morally, to create. And so there's a big focus in the book, I suppose, around fostering inclusive communities, radically inclusive communities, in which those who are most vulnerable, in this case homeless people, will experience the same kind of dignity and access to resources than the rest of us.
Yes, but I would like to take you on that one and say, one of the other things that we also try to say is that when it comes to vulnerability, we who are the homeful people should also recognize our vulnerability. We are also very vulnerable, and I think the crisis in the Ukraine and Palestine have demonstrated our vulnerability, where we could become homeless from one moment to the next. And to this, I would like to add is that the COVID pandemic has also created that awareness in us that our vulnerability is there. If we can confront that, we can confront homelessness, and we can also try to do something, because homelessness is not something for the other, but it is something that is there in our midst. It is a shadow that we would try not to have behind us. Stefan.
Well, thanks, Rihanna. So I think, if you want to make some contribution to solve homelessness in South African cities and towns, please consider reading the book, Go on a Journey. And thank you for listening to me and Rihanna sharing some of our passion around this topic. We hope that it will make a contribution also to your own research, but also to your practice, and if you are a policy maker, to the way in which you make policy. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.